But this, immense as it is only one system of worlds. Beyond this, at a vast distance into space, far beyond all power of calculation, are the stars called the fixed stars. They are called fixed because they have no revolutionary motion, as the 6 worlds or planets have that I have been describing. Those fixed stars continue always at the same distance from each other, and always in the same place, as the Sun does in the center of our system. The probability, therefore, is that each of those fixed stars is also a sun, around which another system of worlds or planets, though too remote for us to discover, performs its revolutions, as our system of worlds goes round our central sun. By this easy progression of ideas, the immensity of space will appear to us to be filled with systems of worlds, and that no part of space lies at waste, any more than any part of the globe of earth and water is left unoccupied. Having thus endeavored to convey, in a familiar and easy manner, some idea of the structure of the universe, I return to explain what I before alluded to, namely, the great benefits arising to man in consequence of the Creator having made a plurality of worlds, such as our system is, consisting of the central sun and 6 worlds, besides satellites, in reference to that of creating one world only of a vast extent. It is an idea I never lost sight of, that all our knowledge of science is derived from the revolutions, cigarette to our eye, and from thence to our understanding, which those several planets or worlds, of which our system is composed, make in their circuit around the sun. Had then the quantity of matter which these 6 worlds contain been blended into one solitary globe, the consequence to us would have been that either no revolutionary motion would have existed, or not a sufficiency of it to give us the idea and the knowledge of science we now have. And it is from the sciences that all mechanical arts that contribute so much to our earthly felicity and comfort are derived. As, therefore, the Creator made nothing in vain, so also must it be that He organized the structure of the universe in the most advantageous manner for the benefit of man. And as we see, and from experience feel, the benefits we derive from the structure of the universe, formed as it is, which benefits we should not have had the opportunity of enjoying, if the structure, so far as relates to our system, had been a solitary globe, we can discover at least one reason why a plurality of worlds has been made, and that reason calls forth the devotional gratitude of man, as well as his admiration. But it is not to us, the inhabitants of this globe only, that the benefits arising from a plurality of worlds are limited. The inhabitants of each of the worlds of which our system is composed enjoy the same opportunities of knowledge as we do. They behold the revolutionary motions of our earth as we behold theirs. All the planets revolve in sight of each other, and therefore the same universal school of science presents itself to all. Neither does this knowledge stop here. The system of worlds next to us exhibits, in its revolutions, the same principles and school of science to the inhabitants of their system as our system does to us, and in like manner throughout the immensity of space. Our ideas, not only of the almightiness of the Creator, but of His wisdom and of His beneficence, become enlarged in proportion as we contemplate the extent and the structure of the universe. The solitary idea of a solitary world, rolling or at rest in the immense ocean of space, gives place to the cheerful idea of a society of worlds, so properly contrived as to administer, even even by their ocean instruction to man. See our own earth filled with abundance, but we forget to consider how much of that abundance is owed to the scientific knowledge the vast machinery of the universe has unfolded. But in the midst of those reflections, what are we to think of the Christian system of faith that forms itself upon the idea of only one world, that of no greater extent, as is before shown, than 25,000 miles, an extent which a man walking at the rate of 3 miles an hour for 12 hours in a day, would on a circular direction, would walk entirely round in less than 2 years. Alas, what is this to the mighty ocean of space, and the almighty power of the Creator? From whence, then, could arise solitary and strange conceit, that the Almighty, who had millions of worlds equally dependent on his creation, should quit the care of all the rest, and come to die on our world, because, they say, one man and one woman had eaten an apple? And, on the other hand, are we to suppose that every world in boundless creation had an apple, a serpent, and a redeemer? In this case, the person who is irreverently called the Son of God, and sometimes God himself, would have nothing else to do than to travel from world to world in an endless succession of death, with scarcely a moment to eternal life. It has been by rejecting the evidence that the word or works of God in creation affords to our senses, and the action of our reason upon that evidence, that so many wild and whimsical systems of faith and of religion have been fabricated and set up. There may be many systems of religion that, so far from being morally bad, are in many respects morally good, but there can be but one that is true, and that one necessarily must, as it ever will, be in all things consistent with the ever-consistent word of God who behold his works. But such is the strange construction of the Christian system of faith, that every evidence the heavens afford to man either directly contradicts it or renders it absurd. It is possible to believe, always under pressure of encouragement to believe, that there have been people who persuade themselves that what is called pious fraud might, under particular circumstances, be productive of some good, but the fraud, being once established, could not afterwards be explained. For it is with a pious fraud as with a bad action, it begets a calamitous necessity of going on. The persons who first preached the Christian system of faith, and in some measure combined it with the morality preached by Jesus Christ, might persuade themselves that it was better than heathen theology that men prevailed. From the first preachers, fraud went on to the second and to the third, until the idea of its being pious fraud became lost, of its being true, and that became again encouraged by the interest of those who may be likely by preaching it. But though such a belief might by such means be rendered almost general among the laity, it is next to impossible to account for the continual persecution carried on by the Church for several hundred years against the sciences and against the professors of science. If the Church had not some record or tradition that it was originally no other than a pious fraud, or did not foresee that it could not be maintained against the evidence that the structure of the universe afforded. Having thus shown the irreconcilable inconsistencies between the real world of God existing in the universe and that which is called the Word of God, as shown to us in a printed book that any man might make. I proceed to speak of the three principal means that have been employed in all ages, and perhaps in all countries, to impose upon mankind. Those three means are mystery, miracle, and prophecy. The two first are incompatible with true religion, and the third ought always to be suspected. With respect to mystery, everything in the world is, in one sense, a mystery to us. Our own existence is a mystery. The whole vegetable world is a mystery. We cannot account how it is that an acorn, when put into the ground, is made to develop itself and become an oak. We know not how it is that the seed so unfolds and multiplies itself, and returns to us such an abundant interest for so small a matter. The fact, however, as distinct from the operating cause, is not a mystery, because we see it, and we know also the means we are to use, which is no other than putting the seed in the ground. We know, therefore, as much as is necessary for us to know, and that part of the operation that we do not know, and which, if we did, we could not perform, the Creator takes upon himself and performs it for us. We are, therefore, better off than if we had been let into the sea, and left to do it ourselves. But though every created thing is, in this sense, a mystery, the word mystery cannot be applied to moral truth any more than obscurity can be applied to light. God, when we believe, is a God of moral truth, and not a God of mystery and obscurity. Mystery is the antagonist of truth. It is a fog of human invention that obscures truth and represents it